Okay, so I've just taken delivery of the house and the basement. There's 5 quite large boxes in my hallway. Yeah. So I knew it was going to be a big project. I probably didn't realise quite how big and heavy some of these boxes would be. But, it's all fun, I'm sure.
So remember I was trying to figure out a date of how old this kit might be. Well, look at this. The collection date was the 7th of February 2006. So it's at least 16 years old, this house at the minute.
Okay, so I will start opening the boxes one by one and we'll have a look what's inside each one. Now, I will say with any new kit, it's really, really important to tick off the list of parts and make sure that everything's there and that there's nothing that's damaged. Now, with this kit, that process is a little bit defunct because unfortunately the kit's no longer made, so it's not like I can go to the manufacturers if I have a broken part or a piece missing. I'm just going to have to try and make something up if there is anything missing or damaged. But we'll go through these 5 boxes. I'm just going to go through briefly at this stage just to see what I have, and then we'll move on to something in a little bit more detail, which is unboxing and checking parts. But for now, I'm just curious as to which box is which. Okay, so the first box, inside that is this corrugated cardboard. The lady quite correctly told me as well that everything was sealed, and it has been completely sealed, so I'm opening everything here for the first time. These look initially like the sides of the house. There's sort of the triangular parts here, and you can see how big that's going to be, and that is literally just the house without the basement, so it is going to be quite a huge project. There are some stairs in there as well, but I'm not going to look into too much into detail this because initially what I want to do is focus on the basement first, and like I said, the thing that I always tell people to get everything out and check parts, it's a little bit redundant in this case because I can't get additional parts anyway, but so far it's looking good. So I've packed box 1 back away, and as I go through I'm just going to write on in marker which one is so that I know. Okay, so this one is box number 2. Let's open it and see what's in this one. Okay, so this is the second box, and you can see it's actually got a little welcome envelope in here. So again, everything's sealed. This is all sealed, so I'll open it up and see what it says. Okay, so this is what's in the house. There's a little letter just saying I get 10% off until 2007, which is a little bit of a shame because obviously we're now in 2022, so I'm guessing that that's expired. But anyway, it's a nice little welcome pack. They send that. Also in the pack are some postcards, which is the house, Cadogan Gardens, and inside they're like little postcodes that you can send to people asking for birthdays for people to buy stuff for the house. It's quite a good idea, to be honest, because I do ask people to buy things for birthday and Christmas for my miniature collection, so that's quite cool. Also in there's a little pin badge which just says, if I can see it right, the Doll's House Emporium. It's like a little black and gold badge. And also quite a cute little touch, I think, is a little welcome mat, which is a very, very cute little touch. So we'll continue to open this box and see what else is in there. So this one has a lot of long pieces of wood that are all the way down. So I think these are probably going to serve as floors for the house. And then I just pulled this small part out here, which looks as though it's maybe part of the roof because it's got like that little edge on it. So yeah, and excited, but we have some instructions for the house, which is always good to see. I sort of knew these would be in anyway because it's sealed, but I was hoping that they hadn't missed them out because, like I said, unfortunately it is a discontinued house. I'd really find difficulty in getting them. So yeah, there's the instructions. And obviously the parts that we need to tick off and check that we've got everything before we start building. And then yeah, it goes into obviously hopefully a high level of detail so that we can start putting it together. Okay, and box 2 is labelled up now. Let's move on to box 3. Okay, so box 3 looks to be a little bit different to the others. It's white, it's smaller, and it's a bit lighter as well. So let's open it and find out what's in this one. Okay, so this bit has obviously door opening. It's actually already pre-put together. Some doors in there, a couple of spindles, various bits there. Some like newel posts. This might be actually part of the basement looking at it, because I think they're the newel posts that the railing's attached to. And the basement does have a door as well, so it might be that. There is also a smaller box inside, which might not be the basement then, actually thinking about it, because these beautiful sash windows they're working sash windows as well, by the way. How exciting. These came in this part as well, so this makes me think actually it's probably part of the main kit. Yeah, I'm sure it is, because all the trim's there as well. So that, I think that bit will be the main front of the house with the main front door bit, and these are the windows to the house as well, the main house. There's this little pack here. I'm not quite sure what these are. I don't know whether it's some additional trim or whether they could potentially be... No, they can't be fireplaces because they're too narrow. So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what they are yet, but I'm sure we'll find out soon. So that is box 3, the smallest one. Okay, me maybe being a little bit dim, I've just probably thought actually this will be the basement, because the windows there that are provided, there's obviously 3 little windows on each bay window. I didn't think about that. And then also the kit has windows at the side, so potentially there are 8 windows, and that pretty much looks about right, because they look like the side windows. They look like there's 2 in there. There's sort of 2 big front bay windows, and then a couple of little ones each as well. So that's probably right. So I think this is all for the main... I'm still not sure what they are though, but I think this is all for the main part of the window. So the basement, sorry. And that is labelled up as basement front. It's a good job I am starting this bit first, because as usual when you unpackage something you can't quite get it to sit right again. So this is box number 4. Looks very similar, I guess, to box number 1 and 2. So let's see what's in this one. Okay, so this one is super heavy and has all sorts inside. I don't want to take everything out so I've just opened and had a little peek in the sides, which I will show you if I can. But there's just a lot of different dividers in there, and also right at this side looks to be the main front steps leading up. Now this is actually part of the basement. How do I know that? Because we have the second set of instructions. Now, not that I mean to feel a little bit overwhelmed, but this is a very big project, and the basement instructions are about as thick almost as the actual main house instructions. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be much easier than putting the main house together by the looks of it. But yeah, we'll have a look as we go along and see how we get on. So that is box number 4, which is the main part of the basement. And here is box number 5. It's probably one of the, well, it is the biggest one. Not the heaviest, but certainly the biggest. So let's open this and see what's in this one. Okay, so this looks like the main part of the house, with the sort of standard 3 floors. And again, the bay windows look to be fitted in this like they do with the basement, so they're already fitted. I don't know if I'm a little bit disappointed by that. I suppose there's plenty for me to be going at, but I do like doing everything from scratch. Mind you, I suppose it's only probably 1, 2, 3, 4 parts maybe, and a little roof. So yeah, I suppose there's still plenty for me to go at. There's some packets here which look like, well, they're spindles and chimneys, and newel posts in there. Just some little I think they're just the guardrails that go along the top of the staircase as you go up one flight of stairs into another. Some very small windows there. They're 2 windows which look, I think they're going to be the attic windows because they look quite small. I'll lift this bit out and then we'll have a look what's underneath. So just under there looks to be some struts and the chimneys. We'll take this piece of card out, just see what's under there. Okay, I've just stood that up. You can see how big this house is going to be, and that's not even with the attic on top or the basement underneath either. So let's see what's under this part. Okay, so it looks like the second bay window section for the other side. There's also a lot of, I think there are a lot of windows, sash windows, door. This is the front door. This is actually supposed to be really nice because I think I've seen somewhere that it's actually got some stained glass as well. I don't know where that, there it is, looks to be a little transfer of stained glass. That's quite cool. And then, yeah, looks to be, again, more trim, more windows, etc. So that is the final box, box number 5. Okay, and there is box number 5. So the plan is for the main house boxes to go away for a little while. And for me to concentrate on the basement. Now, I did mention with any kit, it's really, really important that the first thing you do is check everything, make sure it's all there, make sure it's not damaged. But like I said, because it's now defunct, this kit, I'm not going to be able to get parts for it anyway. And the bits that I have looked at, because they've been well packaged, it's just been stored. I actually had a man with a van, not a courier, to bring it to me so that I know it wouldn't be bashed around. I'm hoping that everything is there and everything is in very, very good condition. I'll be over the moon if it is. So yeah, I'm like a kid at Christmas. I'm dead excited. I am going to probably make a cup of tea now and then we will start having a look at the basement. I certainly want to make sure that at least that we are sort of checking parts off. So I think that's what we'll be doing next. Right, so I've had a cup of tea and I've just laid out the 2 boxes, which is that big box with the instructions for the basement and the smaller white box with the basement front in there. And I've just picked this up because there's glue in there, which is great, that you get some glue with it. But there's also, I just picked this up and looked on the other side. Now, I've never known a kit where they actually provide the little brass knobs as well, and even super glue. So it's literally pretty much everything, and they're just the railings there as well. But there really is everything. So this kit, I think I have built a house from Doll's House Emporium, but it was a long, long time ago. And although this house might be sort of 16 years old and it is a discontinued house, I don't know if the Doll's House Emporium houses are built as well now, but I have high hopes for this. I really like the fact that it's got working sash windows, and already, you can kind of see the quality, that they go into that amount of detail, that they even provide you with, the little brass knobs there. So let's start having a look at the instructions and the parts, and we'll start ticking those off as we go along. So here is the first page of the instructions, and today we're going to be looking at ticking all the parts off. But it is interesting just to read what it says there, just about tools and materials that you might need. Now, I've just had a quick look through and pretty much everything there I have. I'm not sure, it says about paint, and I've no idea what even colours I'm going to use yet or how I'm going to finish it. I know I need to think about that really before I start putting together, because as you'll soon realise in kit form, a lot of pieces are easier to put together not easier to put together, sorry, but are easier to paint first and put together rather than trying to reach in and decorate when they're already assembled. So people do rush. I think this is one of the mistakes people make when building a house. They do rush into building it without much thought or planning. And it is really, really important to get this process correct. I know it's not exactly the the most exciting, but it is really important to get this correct. So the first thing we are going to do is start having a look at the kit parts, which are all listed here, and we're going to start just going through and ticking them off one by one as we find them. So I just had to film this because I've come across something which is very, very cool in my eyes. I know you'll probably think I'm really sad, but check this out. Now that is actually built in to this panel. There's nothing underneath. It's actually built into it, and it's almost like a plastic button almost. Just trying. How cool is that? I just think that's a really, really nice touch. So presumably this is going to be this panel. I think is probably the back of the basement panel, so that'll sit right at the back where you won't see it. You'll only see it at the back of the house. But I just think that it's a really, really nice touch. You know, it just looks really, really high quality. So one of the things that I had to look at as I'm picking them out of the box and ticking things off is this sash window. They did say they were opening sash windows, and they are. And just as I picked it up, the bottom sort of fell off, and I was like, oh God, I've broke it already. But actually what they've done, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that with a rubber band? They've actually put them together with rubber bands. Now that's incredibly clever, because I was already thinking, if they're working, how am I going to paint them? Because obviously they're going to need to be painted and then sanded back really, really well to make sure that they'll still open and shut. And with them not being glued together, just held together like that, it just means that you can completely take them apart to be able to paint them before you put them back together. So again, it's just showing me again that what high quality, amazing kit this is. It's just a real shame as I'm looking through it that, you know, it's not made anymore, because it is such a lovely house kit. So that's all done. I've tried to package everything away now as best as I can, and I'm pretty happy with all that. Luckily, every piece is accounted for, so I am over the moon. Now, there are certain parts which there's sort of that little mid-floor, there's the two lots of side walls there, an entrance path, a top step, and I have this sort of pile of pieces here that I'm not exactly sure which is which. So what I will do is, as we're going along, I'll just have to be really careful, because I'm not going to be able to label them up. I don't know, for example, that top step and an entrance path, I don't know if there's like a wider bit here, and then there's like a smaller but thicker piece here, and because they just look like squares, I'm not sure what's what. So yeah, absolutely the next job as we go along, we will be start to label some parts up so we know what's what if it's not quite obvious. But certainly with these ones, or with any parts that look similar, you just need to be really, really careful. And again, you know, as you're going through this and ticking things off, it just helps you to be aware if there's any, you know, there are any similar parts that you just need to be extra careful with as you go along. So I think that I'll leave this video here. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you are finding it quite enjoyable. I know we haven't got into much today, but this kind of thing is really, really essential. Just checking that you've got everything before you start. Probably the next video we will probably look at planning. So if you want to stick around for that, please consider subscribing, because YouTube will then let you know as soon as I release a new video. So thanks for watching. Bye.